Hello, everyone. This is the Chat You and You show, and I'm Ivy, and there's Keisha over there, and she is joining me this evening. And tonight we're talking about what is holistic health and why does it matter. And so, first of all, I know that the reason we wanted to do this topic is because a lot of times people see the words holistic health and they think, oh, like it's yoga or it's like something, it's crunchy granola, it's something that is really difficult to get a grasp on, or they think that it might be something that's, trendy or, it's something that they don't really understand. So we wanted to take the time to come together and just give you a clear, concise explanation of what holistic health is and how you can begin to embrace a holistically healthy lifestyle in your everyday practice. And we want to take the difficult part out of it, make it really simple and easy for you so that you can get the benefit of it. So, Keisha.
Now, for some reason, this thing better not act up tonight. I already missed one show now.
Anyway, I saw you drop off. Sorry, I was like, wait, what's happening?
I know. Okay, everybody bring positive energy to my left, please, and my wireless connect up tonight. All right. Well, hello, guys. Yes, so everything Ivy just said, why we're here, holistic healing, holistic health, holistic medicines. Let's talk about it and why it matters.
Yeah, definitely. I want to start off by giving just a definition of holistic and what holistic means, because sometimes that's where the confusion starts at the very beginning. So holistic is an adjective, and it basically, I'm reading, I have my notes over here, guys. So if you see me looking over here, it describes an emphasis on the importance of the whole. So we're talking about health of the whole person. And we're also talking about the interdependence of each part of that person. So when we're talking holistic, we mean physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And we're talking about the health of your health in each of those areas and how your health in each of those areas affects the other. So for example, how does your emotional health affect your physical health? And vice versa. How does your spiritual well-being affect your physical well-being? And then how do all of those things working together make you a person who has a holistic balance in your life? So when we say holistic, we're talking about all of you. And when we're talking about holistic health, we're talking about treating you as a person, all of you, not just one thing. A lot of times when we think of health, we think fruits and veggies and exercise, and that's it. And that's the physical part of us. But we, a lot of times, don't think about the other parts of us that are a very important part of our health. What do you think, Keisha?
Yes, especially nowadays with so much happening in our world, mental health is a huge issue. And I don't think people really realize that our mental state completely affects our physical state and every other, part of our being. So yes, we really need to integrate every part of us in order to create a more balanced life and health.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes, definitely. And I wanted to let's take a look at these different components and let's break them down just a little bit so you get clarity. So physical, your physical, the physical part of you would, if we are talking about your physical health, we might be talking about your food, your nutrition, your fitness, sufficient rest, the things that have to do with your actual physical body. The emotional part of you would have to do more with like your relationships, your feelings, the expressions of your feelings, your connections to your feelings. That would be the emotional part of you. When we're talking about the mental part of you, we might be speaking of your clarity of thought, your security in your beliefs, your acquisition of knowledge, as Keisha just talked about, how the things, external things affect your thoughts, how they affect your mind. And when we're speaking of spiritual, then we're talking about your relationship with the higher power, should you believe in the higher power, or your connection to your own power or your own purpose in life, or your own higher self, your connection to your higher self. And so all of those components are part of your holistic health. So when you think about it, think about how often when someone says, oh, healthy, or, I want to be healthy, the first thing we've been taught to think about is food, right? And maybe exercise is second, right?
And you know what? I want to touch back too on. I'm glad you broke those down for people, right? Mm-hmm. So on that emotional side, we can pull out several examples there, because part of that emotional self is your relationship with not others, right? And those are working out for you or not, right? Yeah. So how many times are we in situations where is our partners, our business partners, our friends, those relate very well. Well, guess what? That is manifested with, and then we might be feeling some kind of way, and that throws us off balance in our heads. So as you can see, it's all related. So when we talk about relationships, and we have before on this show, right? And when we talk about relationships, understand that is a major component. All of them are major, but really think about how your connections with other people really affects your physical and emotional and mental states.
It's all connected. It's all connected. And that seems so simple, but it's so powerful. And I want to say that even in my own wellness journey, every day I learn more and more about how it's all connected. And, a lot of times, and because we've been trained this way, we've been socialized this way, that when we have a physical ailment, the first thing we want to do is go to the doctor, and we want to get some type of medicine. And when you learn holistic health, you learn to take a pause and say, let's say a headache. Where's this headache really coming from? A lot of times we want to pop the pills, we want to pop the pain pills, we want to lay down or whatever, but if we stop and think about, okay, what's going on with me emotionally? What's going on with me mentally? What's going on with me spiritually? Is there an imbalance in those areas? Because most of the time, our physical symptoms are signals of things that are going on with us in those other areas. And it's it's our body saying, ding, 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 ding.
Something's wrong here. I'm okay. So since you mentioned headache, I want to tell you another example with the headache thing. My niece was having headaches all the time. She's 15. She was having headaches all the time, and we could not figure what the heck. And I did not want to keep having her taking Tylenol or Midol or whatever it is, right? And we couldn't connect the headache with something else. At first, we were thinking food. What did you eat today or yesterday or recently that could give you a headache? Have you been sleeping? Have you been drinking enough water? That could be another reason or symptom. So we're like, what the heck is happening? So we did go to the doctor. Come to find out, she needs glasses, or she needed glasses. And we didn't put the two and two together because she didn't seem to, I can't see anything, right? So she needed glasses, and also found out she had allergies. Since she's had her glasses, she has not had a headache since. So it wasn't, if we had kept like, oh my God, just keep giving her Tylenol every time she gets a headache, we would never like known until probably vision was worse that this was going on. Looking outside of our physical ailments or just popping pills and lay it down and put a rag over here, you'll be okay, you know.
Right.
It is really, really important to really understand what else is affecting us.
Yes. Yeah, listening to those signals. And what's so amazing, especially, you know, my passion is the body and connecting with the body. And what's so amazing is that our body is always talking to us, right? It's always giving us signals. But unfortunately,
we're like little kids. We're doing this. We're like little kids. I don't hear you.
Right. We've been socialized to shut it up, right? That's how we've been socialized, that when we feel the pain, find something to stop this pain, right? Find something to get rid of the pain. And instead of saying, okay, what is the pain trying to show us? What is the pain trying to teach us? And the pain is not always our body trying to hurt us. A lot of times it's our body just trying to talk to us and to say, hey, you know, if we look at, let's take the headache example, and, you know, let's talk about, we've talked about before, self-care. A lot of times we have the headaches going on because, like you said, we're not sleeping well. You know, we're multitasking so many different things, and we're not taking the time to just slow down and to breathe. Like we learned on our last episode, the breath work and the yoga, and just to slowing down. And our body is just telling us, hey, wait, hold, it's too much going on. You know, it's too much going on. And it's saying, give me some time, give me some love, give me some attention.
And that's not just for headaches, guys. This is now, we don't have a doctor on, and did we put a disclaimer out there? We're not doctors. FYI, we are not doctors. We do not have MDs. However, we do feel comfortable saying that this is not just for the minor stuff you get. I mean, a lot of times we really don't listen to our bodies. By the time our body really gives us indications of issues and symptoms, it's so broken down that now we have some of the major diseases, the diabetes, the cancers, the high blood pressures, because we didn't pay attention to those smaller, you know, nudges that our body was giving us. And so, you know, sometimes sometimes we can come around and come out of it, you know, with different changes in our lifestyle, not just diet and exercise, but lifestyle changes. Like my mom, I will say, my mom did have a heart attack maybe about a month or 6 weeks ago. And the doctor told her, she said, you're going to have to make lifestyle changes, not just cutting back on fried foods or whatever. No, lifestyle changes, right? So when we think about holistic health, it's not just one thing. It's everything we have to incorporate. What do we need to do differently in every aspect of our lives? And a lot of times that means getting rid of people. Y'all know I'm a proponent of that. We may have to get rid of some people to be healthy overall.
Now, I'd love to, if we can talk for a minute about how a lot of times we try to take the fast track to health. And a lot of times that involves neglecting the holistic approach, because a lot of times, particularly, and we've spoken about this in our other episodes, when it comes to the pressure around size and weight loss and things like that. And a lot of times when we think of health, we're thinking about this end result of, I want to be this size, I want to look this way, I want my body to be this shape. And that means that we're neglecting all the other parts of us when we're talking about health and fitness. So a lot of times, you know, we'll put ourselves on these diets, or put ourselves on these really strict fitness regimens, or the military type fitness regimens. And what we're really doing is kind of counteracting what holistic health really is, because we're neglecting our rest, we're neglecting our mental well-being, we're neglecting our emotional well-being, because we're just trying to, it's the means to an end. We're trying to get to this finish line of this particular number, whether it be on the scale or whether it be in a dress or on the tape measure or whatever. Whereas, like we're talking about tonight, holistic health says, okay, I'm committed to wellness and I'm committed to being a healthier person. So that means I'm going to pay attention to my physical, my mental, my emotional, and my spiritual, not just on one part, not just a fast track so that I look a certain way, but the rest of me is falling apart on the inside, right?
Messed completely up.
The rest of me is falling apart and neglected, but I look a certain way, right? What do you think about that, Keisha, as far as like that fast track and neglecting that?
So, okay, so I want to say one thing first too. You said, well, we look the part, which I want people to understand. Just because someone looks a certain way does not mean they are healthy.
Yes.
And you know, you can be whatever you think healthy looks like is, you can go ahead and scratch that out your head and throw it out the window, because it's not completely true. You can see somebody walking around in a size 2. Does not mean that they're holistically healthy. They may be one of the most screwed up people to walk around on earth, but they're small, so they're healthy? No. So get that. I wanted to clear that up for a second. So, and then to answer your question, yes, I wholeheartedly agree that when we go on, you know, try to go on the fast track, you know, 8 pounds in 20 minutes and, you know, things like things silly like that, then we are doing so much to focus on this one area that we are not focusing and paying attention to and balancing out everything else along with that. Because, okay, say you actually achieve the goal. Clap to you, good, fine, and dandy. But what about your mental state now that you've torn up the rest of yourself to get there?
Yeah.
You know, you didn't get much sleep because you were trying to be a boss in the gym or whatever, and you weren't eating very well because you cut out a whole food group. You know what I mean? So now that's messing with your metabolism, which then makes you sluggish, which then you're understanding why your emotional state is not right because you're tired all the time. And now your relationships are messed up because you're the one that, I mean, you see how it can go on and on and on with one little thing when we don't balance the whole lifestyle out.
Yeah. And I also want to kind of do a flip side and say that a lot of times, and I've seen this with clients, that a lot of times we forget to give ourselves credit for the way that we are investing in ourselves in other areas. You know, a lot of times we might be eating and we might be exercising and we're so hard on ourselves because we don't see this external change that we want so bad, but we forget to give ourselves love for the fact that, you know, we're now investing in more self-care. Maybe you're resting more. Maybe now you're taking time for meditation. Maybe now you pause in the middle of the day for your breath work. Maybe you're taking time to read and invest in your spiritual life. Maybe you're spending more time with your friends and your family and really mending relationships and connecting with people. All of that is progress in your wellness. And a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit for the evolution that we're doing in those particular areas.
I agree. I like that. And I'm glad you mentioned that because it gives people something to look back on and reflect on. And, you know, if you need to journal it, write it down. And that's another part of self-care is journaling or putting your thoughts down somewhere. If you're not a writer, use a voice recorder on your phone. Most of our phones come with one nowadays. And throughout your day, if you find yourself taking care of yourself and just jot it down, write it down, talk it out, I think that will completely help you see there needs to be some kudos and a pat on the back to yourself for doing these things. And it's progress, not perfection, right? So I think as long as you're continuing that on the road to progress, you will be A-okay.
Now, I want to remind you all that if you're watching the show and you have any questions for us right now, or comments, or things that you might want more clarity on, please feel free to hit the Q&A button, and you can type in a question and we'll get it right here, and then we can actually address your questions live on the show. For anybody that's just tuning in, I want to make sure that you're getting the answers to the questions that you have as well, because it's the Chat You and You show, so you're part of the show as well. So Keisha, how about we talk a little bit about why is holistic health important? Why is paying attention to holistic health important, and why does it even matter?
If you're living in a country where you have to pay medical bills, that's the answer. Yeah, so here in the United States, medical care is hugely expensive. And my thought is, why waste the money? Why waste, the credit, marks on your report because you can't pay thousands of dollars in credit bills? Or why worry about all of that when we can just take a step back and do more self-care and do more holistic care for ourselves? And I think that seeking out professionals who can help in that area, not just your doctor. Okay, so let me say this too. In anything that we do, we need a circle of positive influence around us. Would you agree?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So as an example, for my business circle around me, because I am a business, my business circle around me includes people from different areas, people who all offer their own expertise in any given subject, right? I may need, I don't know, law help or tax help, come around. I need somebody in that area. I need, some health stuff. I got a business coach. I have, all these different people are in my circle. I say that to say, for your personal self, right, your circle should include not just your doctor, or for women, you're just your OBGYN. It should also include other professionals that can help you along your journey to holistic health, not just calling up the doctor when you need, to pop some meds,
when
or
you're
something,
sick,
right? Or something. When you're sick, or when you got to get your PAP. Those are not the only two reasons to call your doctor. And I think a lot of doctors nowadays are actually offering either referrals to people that can help with areas that are outside of their expertise, or even just asking you, okay, how are you sleeping? They're bringing some of that into their practice, which is really, really cool. And then, of course, you have people like Ivy and I, who are health coaches, who this is what we are for. This is what we do. So that's why it matters, because for one, medical cost is horrible in this country. And if you don't have to go through that, why do it?
Right.
I think that's the main reason for me.
And I would say for me, it's for the quality of life, right? Because my approach to life is, I don't want to just survive. I'm not here just to get by. I'm here to thrive and to be the best version of myself that I can be, to constantly be evolving, to constantly becoming a better me. And why neglect, we said 4 areas, why neglect 75% of who I am and only focus on this 25% over here and think that that's going to help me thrive? It's really not. And a lot of times, and I want to make sure that this is clear, this is not coming from a space of judgment, because if you don't mind me sharing, Keisha, I will say that almost 3 years ago, I was having a lot of challenges around my health. And that's when I was first introduced to a holistic doctor. And what was interesting for me was that, normally you go to the doctor, like cough, temperature, blood pressure, scale. Okay, this prescription, thanks, bye. Right? That's the normal visit. And again, this is not judgment around doctors, but this is to show you the difference in the experience. Yeah. Well, I went to an integrative physician, and which is also, you know, a holistic approach to health. And I was there, honestly, for my first visit for about 2 hours. Now, people say, oh, 2 hours, I don't have time to be a doctor. Well, let me tell you this. It was the best investment I ever had in my life, because she sat down and she asked me, what is your support circle like? What's your community? How long are you sleeping? What is your stress level like? What are you doing as far as movement in your life? And not because she wanted to judge me or to get me, you know, you gotta lose 25 pounds, but she asked me that because she wanted to know, have you ever tried yoga? Have you ever tried meditation? Because my stress level at that time, I was in the corporate world and my stress level was through the roof. Wow. And so she broke down all the different parts of who I was and asked me about those things. And then once we saw the deficiencies in those areas, then she gave me this full report. I mean, I came home with a folder of ways that I could start to treat all those different parts of me. And that was the first time I really realized that, you know what? All these health issues that I've been having are more than just health issues. Right. I'm tired. I'm stressed out. I'm at that time I was far away from my family. I need to take more time to breathe. I'm not connected with myself. I'm running all over the place. And that was the first time that I really took a look at those things and realized how much they were impacting me. And so I say all of that to say that that's why holistic health matters, because you're more than just 25% of a person, right? We have all these other areas that are a part of who we are.
Love it. I'm glad you shared that. I actually was searching for a doctor or, you know, a holistic health practitioner here in my area, and they are becoming more widespread. There are only, I think I saw about 3 to 5 that are kind of close to me, like within a 25-mile range. And definitely on my list to contact one, just for general purposes, before something happens or before I get into a space where I'm like, oh my God, now it's so bad. We have to do all these other things to get me back on. So I do. That is on my list. It's on my list. I just have to figure out how to get to the nearest one. Because I know the one I did call was 3 to 4 months out scheduling.
Yeah, that's usually how it is.
Yeah. So guys, you heard it first here. Ivy just gave you the #1 reason to find other practitioners that can help you on your holistic health path.
Yes. And guys, remember, if you're watching, you have questions, remember you can hit the Q&A button if you have questions for us while we're talking. Don't think you're interrupting us, because you're part of the show. We definitely want to go ahead and, Keisha, let's talk about how we actually help people with their holistic wellness.
Awesome. First of all, I have to tell you guys, remember, I think maybe a few episodes back, I was telling you that I was a student at the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, IIN, and I am now officially certified health coach. Thank you very much. Yes. So my focus, I'll tell you what I do. I already work with women entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners who are, really gung-ho, highly driven about building their businesses, building their legacies, and creating that financial freedom for themselves and their families. And with that, I've noticed, like a lot of us who are professionals do, even in your careers, I've noticed that we don't take care of ourselves as we should. We are gung-ho about our business, gung-ho about our families, but when it comes to ourselves, we don't really, it's kind of like, it's like down low priority on the list, right? So my focus with the certification that I now have and with my current business coaching, I am integrating self-care into my coaching practice. So my main focus and goal is to help those women entrepreneurs with their self-care, in addition to building their businesses in a way that they're not completely tired and just want to quit a lot of days. You know what I mean? So that's my focus, and that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm excited.
So can you talk a little bit about like some of the challenges that you see and how your particular approach, how you help people, so they can kind of understand what a holistic approach would be when it comes to being an entrepreneur and lifestyle?
Exactly. So, okay, so just as a scenario, the women I connect with are, like I said, on one end, there are either career professionals, moving up the ladder in their spaces, or entrepreneurs, right? Because you have entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs. So you have those highly driven types of women. What happens is, one, they have their families. So when they get done with their business day, they now have, kids and spouses and other obligations that they have to deal with. But by the time they get done with that, they are completely tired, completely worn out, no time for self, no time for exercise, no time for cooking those quick and easy meals and all of that good stuff. No time for massages. I love my massages. That's non-negotiable for me. I gotta get my massages. No time for all of that. And then when I'm working with them on their business, I can hear it in their voice, and I can hear them saying, well, I don't have time for this component or aspect of my business right now because of this, and this, or I am completely, no energy whatsoever. So we work on energy management as well. Not just time management, but energy management as well. It's hugely important.
I love that, energy management.
Exactly. If you're too tired to build a business, you're not going to make any money.
Yeah.
Or think about it. What kind of energy are you putting out there when you're working with your clients or customers? It's not going to be high if you haven't taken care of self first. And it doesn't take much. Honestly, guys, it really doesn't take much to create a self-care plan or a strategy. Just with what I do and my expertise and my experience, I'm also always working on myself. I'm always working on the balance of myself. But I've learned strategies that I can share with those career, professional, entrepreneur women that can help them get a handle on a balance in their lifestyle, personally and professionally, to meld those two lives together in a more perfect harmony, where they're not just completely pooped, or if they do have a win, they can't even celebrate. You know what I mean? I like to focus on celebrations, and like you were mentioning earlier, I love the progress. It's those little things that we can do, or we can pat ourselves on the back for progress, and that's all I hope for. Did I answer your question?
Also, I'm actually I might even sign up, right? But that's the thing that's important, is that I really honestly believe in this, guys, that I believe that, like you said, everyone needs that circle of support. When you're thinking of, a lot of times people are like, okay, what do I need a health coach for? What do I need a life coach for? A lot of times it's because we do have these versions of ourselves that we want to become, and we're always putting it off. We're always saying, I'd like to rest more. I'd like to travel more. I'd like to write more. I always wanted to be whatever it is. Think of it in your head, right? Or I feel so overwhelmed by life that I can't ever, whatever that is that comes to mind right now, right? Or I'm always so stressed out that I never can have time for. And those are the things that a health coach helps you with, by helping you put things into priority, holding you accountable to your own goals that you set. That's the thing. As a coach, think of the word coach. We're not here to play the game for you. We're here to help you win the game. And that's the thing of, having someone help you with your holistic health goals. Because think of how many, and it's happened to me. That's why I had a coach. I believe in having coaches, right? How many times have we said to ourselves, I'm going to do this? And we look up 2, 3, 4 months, 5, 6, 7 years.
Try years.
Later. I was coming to years. And it's still, you know, we haven't accomplished it. And of course, there's never any guilt or shame around that. But why not give yourself the gift of being the highest version of yourself? I mean, if you've ever experienced, and I'm going to tell you guys, when you start to live, okay, this is like, I'm going to testify right now. When you start to live life from a holistically healthy, you start to look at life from a holistic point of view, it's a totally different experience than just getting by. When you are nourishing the emotional, the spiritual, the mental parts of you, you start to open up in ways that you've never opened up before, and you start to experience life on a totally different level. And I can say that because I've gone from, I told you my story, I've gone from that emergency, like, oh my God, I'm sick, I gotta go to the doctors, to I nourish myself, or I am prioritizing nourishing all of who I am. And it's a different way of living.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but also think about that too. In this space that you're in, you are not allowing a lot of the stuff you used to allow into your body that can make you sick. You know what I mean? Whether it's people, things, situations, whatever it is. Thoughts, exactly. When you're in that space and you've cultivated, and it's a journey. It's not going to be like you wake up tomorrow, you're there. This is going to be a continual life journey. But the more that you put yourself into this holistic, healthy space, the less that you would allow to get into your space to hurt you, harm you, and make you sick physically.
Because you're doing that energy management. You're managing your energy, right? I love that. Exactly. Well, God, let me tell you about, I definitely want to tell you what I'm most passionate about and how I support people. And as you can see, I'm the body relationship coach. So I work with men and women. I work with men and women of all sizes, shapes, and I work with people who are experiencing any type of dysfunction or hurt or hatred or brokenness around their relationship with their body. And whether that be your body image, how you feel about your body, maybe you experience a chronic illness. Maybe you're recovering from an illness. Maybe you've been through surgery. There's so many things that cause us to be in broken relationships with our bodies. Maybe you've even been through trauma in your body, whether it be through abuse or sexual abuse or any of those things. A lot of those things cause us to be in broken relationship with our bodies. And so what I do is I work with people who are experiencing those negative feelings around your body. And I use the tools of holistic health, self-care, and a lot of other things to help you start to mend that relationship so that you can have a healthy and more loving relationship with your body. And part of that is talking about, okay, what it is that's hurting, where it is that you need to get to, and then using those tools of holistic health to get there. So definitely paying attention to who you are emotionally, who you are mentally, how you are spiritually, what your self-care is like, so we can start reconnecting with the body. And it's something that I love to do. I'm passionate about it. I love to see people find body freedom. I love it when people go from that dysfunction. Well, I never like it when people are in dysfunction, but I love to see people be free from that dysfunction and to be in the space of body freedom and a loving relationship with their bodies. So if you think of me as, this is what I tell people all the time, when you have an intimate relationship between two people, when you first meet someone, you don't automatically love them from the beginning. You have to get to know them. And after you get to know them and you get into a relationship with them, you're going to have times that maybe that relationship is broken, or maybe you're having relationship issues, and you have to learn how to reconnect with that person and get back to that space of love. And that's what I do when it comes to you and your body. I help you get to know your body. I help you reconnect with your body. I help you to get back to that space of love with your body, because we weren't born with a dysfunctional relationship with our bodies.
Awesome. And I love what you do.
Body love, body freedom.
Yes, yes. And if you haven't seen, if you're on Google Plus at all, check out Ivy's stream. She shares the most awesome stuff. I need to go catch up. I was just looking on there today. Connect and Circle Ivy. She has some really good stuff in terms of what she's just now talking about, relationships with your body, and just little pieces of nuggets all the time. Do it.
Thank you. Yes, and if you all are feeling maybe uncomfortable with talking about anything publicly, you can definitely reach both of us privately. Keisha, you want to talk about how they can get in contact with you and how they can set up time with you to talk?
Sure. I am available via uncommonchick.com. If you want to go there, there are all types of ways you can get in touch with me. On my contact page, I have my phone number, email address, info@uncommonchick.com, and also a form you can submit, and we can set up a time to have a three-way jam session, is what I call it. Me, you, and your issues.
Love it.
Yes, and we put it all together and figure out a way that we can work together and clear up a lot of that, so you can get back to who you really are and doing what you really want to do.
Love it. And I have right there at the bottom, guys, at seebodyloveself.org. You can reach me there. I offer complimentary. I'm tongue-tied.
We know what you mean.
my tongue is not cooperating with my brain. So talking about holistic health here. I offer complimentary consultations. Yay!
There you go.
There we go. The connection is there. See how I had to pause and allow my body to catch up with what we're doing here. It's okay. I love you anyway. But complimentary consultations, where you have the opportunity to talk with me about any area you might be challenged when it comes to your body image or your body relationship, or if you have any dysfunction when it comes to how you feel about your body. I definitely would love to talk to you about that. So you can definitely go on my website and sign up for a consultation there. Or if you want to connect with me anywhere on social media, I'm under See Body Love Self.
Awesome. All right, so do you want me to tell them what we have in store for them next time?
Yes, you can let the secret out.
All right, so listen up, guys. This is what we're doing. Last week, you may want to go catch up on that one. Unfortunately, you won't see my lovely face. Oh, boo-hoo. Anyway, last session, we had Crystal Thompson on, and she was talking about yoga and body therapy, and you don't have to be a certain size with yoga to do yoga. And she got on and did some practices, some meditative exercises, and she actually showed us different poses. Go back and watch that one. So guess what? We have Crystal coming back on July 15th. It's Wednesday, July 15th, same time, 8 Central, 9 Eastern. We're having an online yoga party. Boom! Boom! Online yoga party. Yes,
I'm excited.
Get your mats ready. Make it home by the time the show starts, so you can get in on doing whatever we're going to be doing. Crystal is going to bring in her awesomeness, and we're just going to do it. Ivan and I are going to get our mats, and we're going to make this work. We're going to have our video camera going.
So let me, can I explain that you all, this means you're going to get a free session of yoga. Okay, think about it like that. You're getting a free session of yoga with Crystal, And you're going to do it with us. You're not going to be alone. We're going to be there with you. So you get to see us do yoga too. And you get
to see me looking crazy, basically.
you get to see how we do. And what's going to be awesome that I'm looking forward to is that you get to see how we use props. You get to see how we do any type of adjustment for our yoga poses. So you get to see how everybody is different when it comes to yoga. So this is your chance to get a no-cost yoga session with friends. You don't have to do it alone. We're going to be there with you live. You can ask Crystal questions, invite your friends to come with. Guys, this is global. No matter where you are in the world, we get to do this all together live. I'm so
yes. I want to see if my niece will come in. She said, "Is it on video?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I don't know." I'm gonna see if she come in with me.
Yeah, this is the time to put that body love to the test, right? You're going to be you guys aren't going to have to be on video. We're going to be on video for the world doing yoga live. I'm actually excited about it.
I don't know if I've 100% come to terms with it yet, but I'll be there.
So definitely we'll be putting out more information about that. And you guys can always go to chatchewandyu.com and submit anything that you'd like to see us have on the show and any questions that you have. And you can also, please, if you haven't done so already, make sure you sign up for our newsletters, because that's where we send our updates and anything special that we have coming out for you all.
Boom.
Awesome. Well, I think we are ready to wrap it up. You all, as far as holistic health, you can start right now as far as prioritizing your holistic health. And can we leave them by giving them just a few quick tips of how we can start right now paying attention to all of ourselves, the holistic view on our health?
Yes.
You want to go first?
Okay, so I'll tell you what I do, and you can take this and change it up or use it if you want. I'll tell you what I do. I use a gratitude journal. Love it. It helps my mental and spiritual states. So that's like taking care of 2 in 1. Mm-hmm. Love to journal, even if it's not just writing thoughts down. It's just, just write a couple things down that you are grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything special, big or small. It's whatever you are grateful for in your life right now. I will tell you, you will not believe how that changes your emotional state, which then affects everything else. 2, I use my Jawbone up to track my sleep. I have a goal of at least 7 hours a night. So it tells me and it alerts me when to go to bed to get my 7 hours, because my alarm is also set on it. It's like, dude, you say you wanted to get up at 8. That means you need to be in bed by 1. You know what I mean? So I wear that faithfully so that I can track my sleep. That's very important to me, and it should be for you as well. And then water is hugely important. This is more on the physical side of things, movement, water, anything we can do to make the body run well. It doesn't have to be anything strenuous, or you got to go do 100 push-ups or nothing like that. But the basic things. Start small if you haven't done anything at all. Those are a couple of different. Oh, and breathe. Just when you were talking, I had to take a huge breath for some reason. It's just I needed to do that. Mm-hmm. When we go all day with shallow breaths and it's not helping our bodies at all. We're not getting enough oxygen. So when you think about it, when you're at a break, take a few moments and just deep breathe in and out. Mm-hmm. You will feel so much better. Trust me. I dare you to do it.
Awesome.
What you got, Ivy?
I would say for me, because I have a little more of a type A personality, I'll admit to that, guys. I'm a recovering perfectionist. So, and by recovering, it means I'm not going back to perfectionism. I'm working to move away from it. But what I do, because I want to prioritize my holistic health, is I schedule in the things that I need in order to be holistically healthy. So, for example, and I've blogged about this before, in the mornings, It used to be from 9 to 10. It switched a little bit in the summer, but I have it blocked off on my calendar. If you were to see my calendar right now, every morning it's blocked off, and that is my spiritual connection time. So that's my time to read. I read the Bible in the morning. That's my time to do my meditation in the morning. That's my time to do my yoga in the morning, and that's my time to do, if I'm doing any type of reading, like right now I'm reading Wild Feminine, which is a book that just talks about the female body. I read a little bit from that in the morning as well. As far as my vitamins and supplements, it's on my calendar. It's it's in there. I have a signal.
I gotta see this calendar of yours.
I would say, yeah, it's on here. Okay, it's on here. I have a signal that says in the morning take vitamins, and I have a signal that says at 8 p.m. take vitamins. So for me, I'm just that type of person where I know, because like you said, I am that busy entrepreneur where I'll be running all over the place, and it'll never happen if it doesn't exist on my calendar. So that's another thing that I've done. As far as rest, I schedule like my rest times, because I can get into a project or get into my computer and forget to just pause and take my lunch. So I have my lunch scheduled. I also have a little reminder that says take a breather that comes up. And for some people that might seem like a lot, but until you get to the point where it just happens by second nature, that can be helpful for some people. For me, I'm that type of personality where I have to be reminded to do these things, or else it's all just going to go to HE double hockey sticks.
I
know. So, and another thing that I would say, that I do is that I listen to my body. That's something, that's something that I am still learning, that when my body is giving me signals to just take the pause. And sometimes that means that some of the work has to be set aside for a minute. Some other things have to, like you said, some people might not get their phone calls right back. But when my body is telling me something, I'm learning to pause and say, what's going on? Because it's so critical. That's another way that I make sure that I attend to my holistic health care. So, guys, it's something that you can start today. I'm sorry. Another thing I wanted to say is that break down those 4 areas: mental, spiritual, emotional, physical. Just sit down and write them on a paper and look at your schedule and see, what are you really doing to take care of those different parts of you, and write in some ideas. Another thing that I do as far as holistic health is I like to do those things that knock out more than one area.
Exactly. Was just thinking that, yes.
Yeah, and when you were talking, I was thinking it. So that's interesting, because that's what yoga does for me. Yoga is one of those things that hits like all 4 of the areas, because it's physical. I'm getting my movement, my workout in. It's emotional, because you're definitely connecting to your emotions and cleansing your emotions in yoga. It's mental, because you're taking that meditative process, you're downloading, you're clearing your brain. It's spiritual, because you're taking that time to connect with higher self, or your higher power, creator, God. You can find those things that knock out all of those different areas at once.
Boom.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're ready to wrap it up. We're going to see y'all in 2 weeks for the yoga party. I'm excited. I'm really excited. I love yoga, guys. I'm excited.
All right. I think I'm going to have the lights off on my end. So
y'all no.
Yes, I am looking forward to it. Hope to see you guys there, and it's going to be a good time.
Yes, definitely. All right. Well, you guys definitely take care of yourself. If you need anything before then, chatchouandyou.com. Peace.
Peace out.
With the higher power, should you believe in the higher power, or your connection to your own power or your own purpose in life, or your own higher self, your connection to your higher self. And so all of those components are part of your holistic health. So when you think about it, think about how often when someone says, oh, healthy, or, I want to be healthy, the first thing we've been taught to think about is food, right? And maybe exercise a second, right?
And you know what? I want to touch back too on. I'm glad you broke those down for people, right? Mm-hmm. So on that emotional side, we can pull out several examples there, because part of that emotional self is your relationship with not others, right? And else are working out for you or not, right? Yeah. So how many times are we in situations where our partners, our business partners, our friends, those relate very well? Well, guess what? That is manifested with, and then we might be feeling some kind of way, and that throws us off balance in our heads. So as you can see, it's all related. So when we talk about relationships, and we have before on this show, right? And when we talk about relationships, understand that that is a major component. All of them are major, but really think about how your connections with other people really affects your physical and emotional and mental states.
It's all connected. It's all connected. And that seems so simple, but it's so powerful. And I want to say that even in my own wellness journey, every day I learn more and more about how it's all connected. And, a lot of times, and because we've been trained this way, we've been socialized this way, that when we have a physical ailment, the first thing we want to do is go to the doctor, and we want to get some type of medicine. And when you learn holistic health, you learn to take a pause and say, let's say a headache. Where's this headache really coming from? A lot of times we want to pop the pills, we want to pop the pain pills, we want to lay down or whatever, but if we stop and think about, okay, what's going on with me emotionally? What's going on with me mentally? What's going on with me spiritually? Is there an imbalance in those areas? Because most of the time, our physical symptoms are signals of things that are going on with us in those other areas. And it's it's our body saying, ding, 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 ding.
Something's wrong here. I'm okay. So since you mentioned headache, I want to tell you another example with the headache thing. My niece was having headaches all the time. She's 15. She was having headaches all the time, and we could not figure what the heck. And I did not want to keep having her taking Tylenol or Midol or whatever it is, right? And we couldn't connect the headache with something else. At first, we were thinking food. What did you eat today or yesterday or recently that could give you a headache? Have you been sleeping? Have you been drinking enough water? That could be another reason or symptom. So we're like, what the heck is happening? So we did go to the doctor. Come to find out, she needs glasses, or she needed glasses.
Hello, everyone. This is the Chat You and You show, and I'm Ivy, and there's Keisha over there, and she is joining me this evening. And tonight we're talking about what is holistic health and why does it matter? And so first of all, I know that the reason we wanted to do this topic is because a lot of times people see the words holistic health and they think, oh, like it's yoga, or it's like something, it's crunchy granola. It's something that it's really difficult to get a grasp on, or they think that it might be something that's, trendy, or, it's something that they don't really understand. So we wanted to take the time to come together and just give you a clear, concise explanation of what holistic health is. And how you can begin to embrace a holistically healthy lifestyle in your everyday practice. And we want to take the difficult part out of it, make it really simple and easy for you so that you can get the benefit of it. So, Keisha.
Now, for some reason, this thing better not act up tonight. I already missed one show now. Anyway,
sorry you dropped off. Sorry, I was like, wait, what's happening?
I know. Okay, everybody bring positive energy to my left, please, and my wireless connect up tonight. All right. Well, hello, guys. Yes, so everything Ivy just said, why we're here, holistic healing, holistic health, holistic medicines. Let's talk about it and why it matters.
Yeah, definitely. I want to start off by giving just a definition of holistic and what holistic means, because sometimes that's where the confusion starts at the very beginning. So holistic is an adjective, and it basically, I'm reading, I have my notes over here, guys. So if you see me looking over here, it describes an emphasis on the importance of the whole. So we're talking about health of the whole person. And we're also talking about the interdependence of each part of that person. So when we're talking holistic, we mean physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And we're talking about the health of your health in each of those areas and how your health in each of those areas affects the other. So for example, how does your emotional health affect your physical health? And vice versa. How does your spiritual well-being affect your physical well-being? And then how do all of those things working together make you a person who has a holistic balance in your life? So when we say holistic, we're talking about all of you. And when we're talking about holistic health, we're talking about treating you as a person, all of you, not just one thing. A lot of times when we think of health, we think fruits and veggies and exercise, and that's it. And that's the physical part of us. But we, a lot of times, don't think about the other parts of us that are a very important part of our health. What do you think, Keisha?
Yes, especially nowadays with so much happening in our world, mental health is a huge issue. Yes. And I don't think people really realize that our mental state completely affects our physical state and every other, part of our being. So yes, we really need to integrate every part of us in order to create a more balanced life and health.
Yes,
definitely.
Yes. Definitely. And I wanted to, let's take a look at these different components and let's break them down just a little bit so you get clarity. So physical, your physical, the physical part of you would, if we are talking about your physical health, we might be talking about your food, your nutrition, your fitness, sufficient rest, the things that have to do with your actual physical body. The emotional part of you would have to do more with like your relationships, your feelings, the expressions of your feelings, your connections to your feelings. That would be the emotional part of you. When we're talking about the mental part of you, we might be speaking of your clarity of thought, your security in your beliefs, your acquisition of knowledge, as Keisha just talked about, how the things, external things affect your thoughts, how they affect your mind. And when we're speaking of spiritual, then we're talking about your relationship